So, hopefully somebody not playing spheres. Don't get me wrong, it's like, I'm not saying people who play spheres are retards. It's just I want to showcase the concept I was trying to explain, and against spheres it's basically me playing my sideboard against their spheres, which is just not what I intended to do with the series. Blue deck, yes, finally. Okay, go right ahead. So, I would assume that he's playing something like either Paradox or a regular Storm build, because Lotus Pattern. It's such a bad card in most matchups. I expect Necro here. He expended so many resources for this Ankh. If I had a misstep, he would just outright lose the game. If he does have a misstep, which I doubt he plays, it's fine. If he has to force it, probably still loses the game. So, since I'm up against a really fast deck, I will try to, I suppose, play Paradoxical Outcome on the first turn. This is kind of bad, honestly. I mean, if I didn't see the Lotus Battle, I would never play something like this, because A, it disables my force of will, and B, an outcome for 2 is really weak. So what I just did is, not even considering my break trap, it's kind of weak in general, I would describe it. Was basically a desperation move, but me basically drawing 2 lands is kind of bad as well. A Gush, interesting. Seeing Gush, my break trap, and Lotus Petal in the same deck makes me wonder whether he's actually playing something stormy, but if you don't play Outcome and Opals, I don't see Lotus Beetle justified, unless you're playing a traditional Storm, which probably doesn't play my break trap in most cases. And this is the point where I would like to have a blue card for my force of will. I don't think he can win here. But him resolving another Ankh Antimonic is likely going to get him far enough ahead to proceed to win the game, unless I draw something ridiculous like Gorilla Shaman, or even a Trinket Mage could actually work out, or Remora. But not having a pitch card actually pretty screwed me. I'm not even sure if I should have gone for the repeal on the Mana Crypt, even against something stormy aggressive, because just having force plus a pitch card is likely better than drawing 2 cards. And I think he just messed up really big time. Maybe my hard cost force will be enough to turn the tides of this game. Wow, this is actually fantastic. But it also means I think I just have to go for it, honestly. This sucks. This sucks big time. Because if I hardcast force, I don't have the mana to support my Mox Monkey this turn. But I think I have to do it anyway and hope that if he had a Mox, he would have played it, so it means he can only cast Time Vault and not activate it, which means my Mox Monkey could just win the game. Even if I pass the turn tapped out. Yeah, and he knows it. He pretty much has to go all in on the Gorilla Shaman. His deck is really weird. It plays Windfall, a ton of counter magic. Really weird deck. Usually Storm decks don't like to play this amount of counter magic. And especially Vault Key feels off. I don't know why somebody would do that. By the way, I'm casting my spells just because I'm scared of draw 7. Leaving 1 island behind is fine. In case he has like discard or Time Twister or something like that. That's not bad. Even if he does play misstep, I'm still okay with the outcome of this exchange because it means he deactivates library. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Draw. And dig. Oof, interesting. So I do have mana for both outcome and Remora. And Remora is likely to resolve due to him not countering Mashit. I'm fine with him forcing this, honestly. I don't really mind. Probably needs to gamble on the library, to be honest. This is perfectly fine, because now I can potentially just win the game from here. If he doesn't have like another counter spell or something. Yeah, this is still fine. I don't understand why he didn't force the deck for time, because both cards I found he forced right off the bat, so kind of useless if you ask me. Oof, this is terrifying for him. I'm probably going to win from this point on forward. 1, 2, 3. I actually might be able to win this turn. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that lovely? Even if I don't win, I have Skullclamp and Warrens. Yeah, this is fine. I might play into trap here. I think if he had a trap, this is the point where he needs to cast it. I'm not sure though. One, 2, 3, 4. And now I finally have some counter magic. Which means I can time walk and win safely on the next turn. 1, 2, 3. I mean, not win, but you know, cast a bunch of shit, play Warrens, and end up with a ton of counter magic in hand. And he knows it as well. So, from what I've seen, I can go heavy into Artifact Hate. I probably don't need the Skull Clamp, even though it's fine. I probably don't need the Needle. Skull Clamp is still pretty strong, honestly, but I don't think I need. It's what I need in the matchup. What I need is maximum artifact. So actually, this is kind of bad. 1 Rack and 2 Mox Monks should be fine, and the rest of the deck is basically designed to beat this matchup. pretty good. I can basically let Remora live forever, and I have my break trap in case he tries to do something too crazy. And I still don't quite understand what he's playing. It just doesn't make sense to me. This is a very good example of bad deck design. And I can actually hardcast my break trap. And I think that's game because I can let this live forever. I don't see him coming back from this. This is quite an insane start. Basically everything I draw is very dangerous for him. And because he elected to play cards like my break trap and misstep, he doesn't have defense grid, so even that is out of the way. Which means Remora is likely going to delay the game to a point where I just proceed to win. And if I draw an outcome at this point, I'm probably not even going to bounce the Remora because he might have a misstep if I want to recast it, so it's just safer to draw 3 and win on the back of this. This is a game changer though, because even if we shall see. I could also just bounce the Mox, honestly, which is what I'm going to do. He can't even recast it again because he doesn't have 4 mana without triggering the Remora. By the way, me drawing lands is completely fine at this point. I mean, drawing Mox is a lot better, especially with Academy. This is fine. Means I can keep this alive all day. It's actually a lot better than, or kind of at least as good as drawing spells, because he's getting to a critical point where he has to decide whether he wants to play into it or not. And as long as he doesn't get to like 6 or 8 mana and can cast spells through Remora, I'm gladly just drawing lands, setting up for my kill. By the way, I'm honored to have the designer of this deck watching. See, this is exactly so terrifying for him. I draw a card, and at this point I can just basically counter whatever he does, but this is so weak that I can just let it resolve, honestly. By the way, his deck is obviously an accumulated knowledge deck with probably like 2 intuition, probably gifts, but it means, in my opinion, cards like Windfall just don't make any sense, and Lotus Beetle is quite weak as well. I think there are just better cards out there. Oof. Now it actually gets really terrifying for him, I mean. Once I flip the Arayo, the game is basically over at this point. I mean, pitching a blue card kind of hurts here. Drawing cards is perfectly fine, because it means I draw cards as well. And I'm not even sure I want to fight for the Arayo anymore, because I can just drop another Mystic Remora. And let's put the nail in the coffin. So, this is the stage where I guess he was just checking what the card does. This is the stage where outcome becomes really strong. I don't know what he's doing. He shouldn't play into this. He should at least let one of the cards die. Which is not going to happen because I have Snapcaster Mage, but I mean, I said it like 3 times already. Game's basically over at this point. Unless play something like, I don't know, Wheel of Fortune. Let's see. It's not like I can do anything, but he's not going to win the game on the back of this. I can't even cast Pyroblast because I don't have a red source in my deck anymore. Which kinda sucks. I think I shouldn't have fought for the Arayo. Is what happened, which is screwing me now. Might have something like Mind's Desire. It's a possibility. I don't know what he's expecting to happen here. He can protect his shit with force if he does have like pitch cards and shit, but this is not going to win in the game, I don't think. I even have force of will now. I don't know what he's doing. Tinker, I suppose. I'm not sure why he would even try to do something if he doesn't have the voltaic key yet. And I have 3 counters at this point for voltaic key. Okay, I guess. I'm just going to counter this because Tendrils is actually lethal, and I'm not sure whether he plays it, but I don't want him to just draw into it. And it also provides him cards that could potentially be dangerous with Frantic Search. Which likely I would force because it just produces an absurd amount of mana. So I think I made 2 mistakes in this game, one of them being that I fought for Erayo, which I probably shouldn't have. And the second mistake is not fetching, which would have enabled my Pyroblast, because I think it wasn't in my hand at the beginning of the turn. I think because of me talking, I forgot to draw of Remora. Okay. Go meal 2 cards, I don't give a shit. They go to exile anyway. But this is actually getting surprisingly close because I made these 2 mistakes. I think I might want to Ank to find a force of will. I think that's what I'm going to do. So the only... Nah, there's not really an issue. I don't know if I have to force this, honestly. I don't think he has tendrils. He does have accumulated knowledge. Okay, that's fine. I think I'm running out of cards. I don't know where my force is at. There's one still in the deck. Trap is in the exile, which sucks. Okay. Boy, am I glad I didn't force the opal. Okay. I could technically still draw 2 cards to find the lost force. But I think this is reasonable. I can still draw 2 cards if I want to. Okay. Yeah, I mean, what really screwed me this game was the fact that I didn't fetch on time. It's the biggest mistake. Sure, you can draw 2 cards. Because this should not be happening, honestly. This is just me messing up. Not like the deck not doing its job. This is all on me. I got too overexcited about having 2 Remora and Araya's Essence. Hardcast Force. Fine with that. This is his 4th force, which means this is likely going to be game over at this point. Played Misdirection, played all forces, did play a Flusterstorm. My Break Trap is still an option. And yeah, I assume that's game. Yeah, that shouldn't have happened. But honestly, I don't see him winning straight up in a game. Especially not post-board. With double Gorilla Shaman. Well, What are you waiting for? This is what I meant earlier. Paradoxical outcome decks have fucking weird draws. But I think it's okay-ish. Because it does have a force, it does have a mox. It's not missing a lot. Maybe the force is enough to get me there. If I draw like a Mox or Remora or something like that, or a Mox Monkey, this hand is fine. Yeah, I wish my hand had a misstep or something like that as well. Fair enough, bro. This is the point where I wish I still had Skull Clamp in the deck. It's not great, honestly, because if you have to tutor for it, you still wind up with Drinker Mage. And you can't Skull Clamp the Drinker Mage, obviously. Just drawing it is fine. Yeah. Draw some cards, play some spells. Oof, that sucks. This is where I lose. This is where nuanced play really shows its potential. Just me not fetching in time, and me being too greedy with Herayo, even though I, even at the point, stated it was not a necessary play for me to do. Just small things like this can really add up. I mean, this would have been a 2-0 for all I care. But instead I lost 2-1. And him sideboarding in Oath of Druids is again conceptually correct in what we talked about in the first video, as in he does only require one spell through Mystic Remora. By the way, if you see this against something like Paradoxical Storm, this is quite uncommon. This is not the norm, and I need to force this, sadly. badly. The first outcome usually does not win the game. It's just like some value can be okay, but in general it's the second outcome that turns the tides. The first one just helps you basically set up the second one. Just like Mystic Remora would. Haha. I don't actually know how I'm going to play my next turn. Probably just Ank. Probably. Cross my fingers, I draw an Opal. Something like it. Opal, Remora would be great. Yeah. The issue is I didn't have 6 mana to cast Snapcaster outcome. If this draw was like a Mox Opal, I would probably have won the game on the spot. Wow. He played Demonic and now he does nothing. Odd. Let's go fish for a misstep. Now okay, it's fine. I don't understand what he got with Demonic. Possibly his last card, which he would likely reveal this turn. I guess not. This is quite odd to me. I guess he... Oh, I think he got Jar. Or did he? I don't know. I don't remember. Twister... I think it might be okay to let it resolve because he already... Let's try this. Because he already has quite a bit of fast mana and no Vault Key or something, which means I will likely get to untap with a full hand. Yeah, this is where he loses the game, I guess. I don't mind him drawing cards. It's quite likely he doesn't get to untap at all. Let's do... Let's do this so I don't play into Trap or Flusterstorm. And... yeah, as to be expected. Which means he stepped out. I get to draw a bunch of cards. Let me see. Let us bait the misstep. Yes, yes, excellent. Maybe another one? No? Fine by me. So, I'm not going to repeat my mistakes. And I think I'm fine just passing the turn. Not really under any pressure. If he starts casting spells, I will just get back up to 7 and draw cards off the library. Wouldn't you just love to have a Mox Monkey at this point? Just so strong at the moment. Five. Tezzeret. This is just me being honest, because actually, knowing my draw, I could have easily just let it resolve. And this is where I win the game. One, two, three. Tuk. And the Mox as well, I guess. And this is one of the rare occasions where I think already did its job, and I'm fine just clamping it away. But it's usually better to keep it. If I didn't have a Remora, I would have still kept it in this situation, just because it threatens his win condition. It's just strong overall. This is fine. This is like half his artifact mana base. See, this is why you usually want to keep it. 1, 2, 3. It's important to keep Time Walk in the graveyard. Sure. I am okay with this exchange. A-okay. So it is kind of close whether I want to clamp it or not. I mean, if I can flip it, it's pretty strong. I just don't see it happening, like, soon. But I mean, I got time forever now. For okay. Storm 2. I don't think he can win anymore. I have enough mana to keep Remora alive all day. And that Io's essence is going to do the trick. But I said the same thing last time and I messed up big. I don't think this is helping him at all. It's like, I don't know where he wants to go from here. Returning his lands. Do you see how this just feels great? I mean, Gorilla Shaman did a lot. Mystic Remora and their Io together are doing a bunch. I don't think I've even cast an outcome yet, but I pitched one, I guess. But if I draw one now, it's protected in my turn from essence, and it will just win me the game. It's beautiful. Fine. If you wanna play nothing, I'll play something. By the way, if you're playing with essence, it's best to cast things during turns where he didn't cast anything yet. For time, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, this is game over. Outcome, and actually, let's do something more aggressive. And I don't think I really need the second Remora. No, I don't think I need it. I think this is enough to win the game. Yep, I agree, mate. So, he boarded in some bullshit, which I have some bullshit to deal with. I guess I still don't want the skull clamp though. One rack is probably fine. Maybe I can board out an opal. Should be fine. Oof, this is so bad. This is so bad, honestly. I'm just keeping it because I do have some protection and Remora. But it sucks. So, the reason I'm not playing the Mox first is I'm playing around trap. Wow, he doesn't have a land. Put my Remora does nothing at this point in time. I need like, I don't even know, Talarian Academy into recall for this to be anywhere near decent. Or a repeal of the top is fine as well. Wow. Now there's some value. But I mean, it's still doing its job. It's stealing the game. Oof. There's a decent draw. But I don't think I can afford to wait for it. But I mean, I can try. Yes, mister. I'm fine with this. You could get Flusterstorm though, which could kind of mess me up, but I'm not too worried for Ankh because I have misstep. Occasionally, if you don't have misstep, it's fine to force the merchant scroll because of Snapcaster Mage and the likes. But largely you just want the tutor to resolve. Just get on with it. It clearly does not have Flusterstorm, which means this is safe. I would actually continue fighting for this because if he doesn't resolve an Ankh, but I do, I'm very likely to win the game. It's not bad. Not bad at all. I'm just casting this to get even small amount of value. It's still something. Yeah, it's fine. But you can see that outcome is usually not strong in the early game unless you have an absurd amount of Moxen. And if you do that, basically every draw spell is really, really good. Storm count is 2, 3. I can draw 4, 5, 6. Two, 3, 4, 5. Not sure how to proceed actually. I think I can do something like this, which is fine. Let's play top. Yeah, so this is Gorilla Shaman and Remora against Outcome in a nutshell. Well, it's not technically Outcome, he didn't play Outcome, but you know what I'm talking about, against blue decks with a lot of artifacts. I think I made my point clear. I hope you enjoyed this, and let me know if you want to see more of this kind of games, and if so, let me know. Leave a comment, subscribe, etc. You know the drill. Peace out.